As I stepped off the plane in Chennai, the air enveloped me like a thick, warm blanket, teeming with the rich, intoxicating aroma of spices mingling with the electric pulse of the city. It was my first time in India, and at 27 years old, I was ready for a whirlwind of adventure. I inhaled deeply, letting the fragrances of sizzling street food and distant conversations wrap around me like an embrace. The bustling terminal, alive with the joyous chaos of travelers, set the stage for my journey. It was overwhelming yet exciting. I maneuvered through the labyrinth of people, my luggage bumping against me with each step, a tangible reminder of the journey I was beginning. The sounds around me formed a symphony. Honking cars harmonized with the sweet laughter of children and the spirited chatter of locals. I could hardly contain my excitement as I spotted a taxi, jumping into the back seat with a sense of eager anticipation. The driver flashed me a grin that stretched ear to ear as he revved the engine, and with a swish, we merged into the vibrant streets of Chennai. It was an exhilarating ride, the sights flashing by in a kaleidoscope of color. Brilliantly hued saris billowed as women strolled gracefully by, while towering temples adorned with intricate carvings loomed in the distance. The streets buzzed with life. Vendors shouted their prices, and the aroma of fresh coconut water wafted in through the windows, beckoning me to taste it. I could hardly blink as everything unfolded around me like a movie, each corner revealing something new and fascinating. My heart raced with the possibilities of adventure. As we approached Marina Beach, I felt a thrill of anticipation. Known for its breathtaking sunsets, I had long dreamed of experiencing this renowned shoreline. Stepping out of the taxi, I was met by the gentle roar of the waves crashing against the shore. I strolled along the sandy expanse, my toes sinking into the warm grains, and gazed at the horizon where the sun was beginning to dip, casting a stunning palette of orange and violet across the sky. It was a moment of pure serenity, a stark contrast to the bustling energy that defined the city. But as I wandered, something unusual caught my eye. A small, weathered journal half buried in the sand, its pages slightly curled and sandy. Intrigued, I bent down to pick it up, feeling the grit of the beach beneath my fingers. When I opened it, my heart skipped a beat. The pages were filled with haphazard notes and sketches of faces wide with laughter, some lost in deep thought, while others expressed profound joy or sorrow. Each stroke of the pencil felt alive, pulsating with emotion, and I couldn't help but get drawn into the world of the writer, whose identity remained a complete mystery. A sense of urgency filled me. I wanted to learn about this person, to dive deeper into their story. What experiences had led them to this beach? What laughter had they shared? As I flipped through the delicate pages, I felt an inexplicable bond with them, as if their thoughts and emotions echoed in my own heart. With my curiosity ignited, I decided to venture into the market streets of Mylapore. The vibrant colors and cacophony of sounds welcomed me as I navigated the narrow paths, and the intoxicating scent of spices tickled my nose like a playful whisper. Stalls overflowing with fresh fruits and vegetables lined the streets, their colors almost vibrant enough to pop off the canvas. I couldn't help but stop at each one, marveling at the intricate display of goods, a riot of oranges, greens, and reds, each representing a story waiting to be told. Making my way deeper into the market, I heard the rhythmic clattering of pots behind one of the stalls. A friendly vendor with crinkled eyes gestured for me to join him. "Come, try some lassi," he called, his voice warm and inviting. I approached with a smile, and he served me a chilled glass of the thick, creamy drink, topped with a sprinkle of nuts and a touch of cardamom. The first sip was an explosion of flavor, cool and refreshing, washing away the remnants of my journey and energizing my spirit once more. As I savored every drop, I struck up a conversation with the vendor. We shared laughter, and I learned about his life in the bustling market, the many characters who passed through, each with their own tales. For him, every customer was a story, each transaction punctuated with snippets of lives interwoven in this chaotic tapestry of the market. In that moment, I realized that this was not just a city. It was a community full of joy, sorrow, love, and laughter. The sun began to set, bathing Mylapore in a golden glow. I continued to explore, wandering through alleyways adorned with vibrant murals, their colors telling stories that words sometimes failed to express. The faces of the locals grew familiar, their smiles became inviting, and the rhythm of my heart matched the rhythm of life around me. With a sense of accomplishment, I decided to head back to the beach. I wanted to see the sunset one last time, feeling its warmth as it sank below the horizon, possibly taking my thoughts with it. I reached the shoreline just as the sky began to transform into a canvas of swirling colors. As I stood there, My heart full, I grasped the journal tightly in my hands. This journey was just beginning, but it felt as if my connections with strangers, their lives, and their stories were already intertwining with mine. Little did I know that my exploration of India would only deepen as I set my sights on Hyderabad next. I could already feel the spark of excitement igniting within me at the thought of wandering through ancient forts, discovering biryani that would make my taste buds dance, and diving into the rich culture that resonated so vibrantly in this part of the world. The anticipation of experiencing more of the incredible diversity of India consumed me as the stars began to twinkle in the dusky sky, each one holding a promise of the adventures yet to come. My journey began with a clear purpose. I wanted to uncover the story behind an old journal I had stumbled upon, one that seemed to carry the essence of its owner's experiences. My quest took me first to the bustling streets of Kolkata, where the vibrant colors and cacophony of sounds swept me away. But as I continued on my path, I found myself traveling south to Chennai, India, a city with its own unique rhythm and charm. Upon arriving in Chennai, the warmth of the sun hugged me as I stepped out into the lively streets. Motorcycles whizzed by, vendors called out their wares, and the fragrant aroma of spices wafted through the air. It was intoxicating. I struck up conversations with local vendors, each exchange bringing me a step closer to understanding the life of the journal's owner. One such vendor was a woman named Mira, who was selling delicate jasmine garlands. Her hands worked deftly, weaving the blossoms into intricate patterns, and as she paused her labor, she began to share stories. There once was a wandering artist, she recounted, her eyes lighting up. He wandered through these very streets, sketching visions of our neighborhood, capturing our essence. As she spoke, I could almost feel his presence, a man who brought beauty to the mundane, a kindred spirit to the city. The warmth of her smile and the gentle way she recalled her memories made me feel like I was inching closer to unraveling the tale woven within the pages of that journal. With each passing day in Chennai, my quest seemed to permeate the very air I breathed. I spent hours exploring the lesser-known temples scattered throughout the city. Each one was a sanctuary of tranquility amid the intricate carvings and the soft, lingering smoke of incense. As I lingered in these sacred spaces, observing the devotion of those around me, I felt an unexpected peace wash over me. But as I delved deeper into Chennai's heart, the question of the artist lingered like a melody stuck in my mind, weaving through my own reflections on purpose and belonging. The turning point of my journey came when I met Arjun, a local filmmaker whose passion for storytelling was infectious. We bumped into each other at a colorful local market, where he was capturing vibrant scenes for his latest project. When I mentioned my search for the journal's owner, his eyes sparkled with intrigue. "You should come to my studio," he suggested, his enthusiasm palpable. Maybe the journal belonged to someone who frequented our art community. Excited by the prospect, I followed him through the narrow, winding streets. The alleys were alive with life, every turn revealing something new. A painter passionately dipping his brush, children playing a game of cricket, the sounds of laughter echoing off the old walls. Arjun's studio turned out to be a vibrant space pulsating with creativity. Canvases of every size adorned the walls, sculptures sat regally at attention, and the air was thick with inspiration. Together, we concocted a plan over cups of spicy masala chai, our makeshift brainstorming session feeling like a cinematic moment. As we flipped through the journal, studying distinct sketches, a sense of urgency began to creep into the air. The pages fluttered beneath our fingers, filled with a whirlwind of emotions and stories long forgotten. One particular sketch captured my attention, a face with striking blue eyes, a gaze that seemed almost alive. My heart raced as I examined it closely. I could swear I had seen that face somewhere, perhaps etched into the very fabric of the bustling streets of Chennai. "Do you recognize her?" I asked Arjun, pointing to the sketch. "She has an intensity that feels familiar." He leaned in, studying the drawing with furrowed brows. "This could be someone from our art community. Many artists pass through here. It might be a starting point," he replied thoughtfully, as ideas poured forth about whose eyes might belong to this enigmatic figure. Our investigation led us to the heart of Chennai's art scene, where we attended gatherings filled with vibrant discussions and eclectic performances. As art blossomed around us, I began to understand the cultural tapestry that wove through the city. Arjun introduced me to several artists who might have connections to the journal. I listened, enthralled, as they shared their journeys, some filled with aspirations and others with struggles. The notion that art is a language of its own resonated deeply with me. Several nights later, I found myself at an art exhibition in an old colonial building, the atmosphere crackling with creativity and curiosity. As I took in the works on display, each piece characterized by emotion and struggle, I couldn't shake off the feeling that the woman with blue eyes was close. Conversations flowed effortlessly as I wandered through the gallery, my senses heightened, intoxicated by the array of colors and textures. I stopped abruptly in front of a striking painting, a portrayal of a woman eerily similar to the sketch in the journal. "Isn't she captivating?" A voice interrupted my reverie. I turned to find a fellow attendee, a charming artist named Kavya, who wore her passion for art like a cloak. "Her name is Maya," Kavya continued, "the artist who painted this piece. Her work has a haunting quality. She often draws from her own experiences." My heart raced as I thought of the journal. Could Maya be the key to unlocking its secrets? "Do you know where I might find her?" I asked, urgency creeping into my voice. Kavya's expression shifted to one of contemplation. "I share a studio space with her. Let me give you her contact information." My heart fluttered with hope as I thanked her and made plans to meet Maya. The next evening, I arrived at Maya's studio, which was nestled amidst a cluster of artist spaces. The atmosphere was filled with the scent of fresh paint and the sound of soft music playing in the background. As Maya entered, her presence filled the room with a palpable energy. She had a magnetic aura, and I felt my heart race as I introduced myself, explaining my quest. As I shared the details of the journal and the sketch of the woman with blue eyes, I watched her expression shift from curiosity to surprise. "That could very well be my grandmother," she said, her voice trembling slightly. She was a free spirit, always dancing between the lines of reality and imagination. If this journal truly belonged to her, it holds pieces of her soul. The emotional weight of her words hung in the air, connecting our paths in ways I had never anticipated. In that moment, I realized that my journey wasn't just about uncovering a story, but also about reconnecting someone with a part of their history. As we sat together, poring over the pages of the journal, the world around us faded, and it felt like we were breathing life back into the memories captured in ink and sketches. The connection deepened, bridging the past and present, and as Maya shared her grandmother's tales, I felt honored to assist in rediscovering her legacy. This journey through Chennai proved to be more than I had ever envisioned. It became a tapestry woven with shared stories, unexpected friendships, and revelations that transcended time, leaving an indelible mark on my soul. Each person I met, every conversation I had, and each moment spent in that lively city had brought me closer to understanding not only the essence of the journal, but also the profound power of art and connection. "Let's visit this place," Arjun suggested as we sat studying one of the sketches from my journal. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, which only heightened my anticipation. We had just explored the vibrant streets of Kolkata, and now the prospect of venturing into this unknown gallery filled me with excitement. It seemed almost hidden, a secret from the bustling world around it, unmarked and waiting to unveil its treasures. As we approached the gallery, I could feel the energy of the evening wrap around us like a warm blanket. The atmosphere transformed. The sounds of the city faded into a serene hush. We entered the gallery, and I was instantly enveloped by the faint, intoxicating scent of oil paint and varnished wood. The air felt electric with creativity, and I couldn't help but feel that every brushstroke in the room had a tale to tell. With my heart racing, I scanned the walls covered in vibrant colors and emotions captured in frames. Many of the pieces reflected the raw styles I had seen in my journal, prompting memories and sentiments to wash over me. Their narratives resonated deeply, as if the artistry was reaching out to tug at my very essence. I felt transported into a world that challenged the ordinary. The gallery owner, an elderly man whose deep-set eyes seemed to harbor a universe of stories, scrutinized us with what I could only describe as a knowing gaze. He embodied wisdom, with lines on his face etched by time and experience. "You're here about the artist, aren't you?" he asked, his voice a raspy melody, soft yet commanding. "Yes," I replied, my voice barely above a whisper, a hint of trepidation dancing in my throat. "Do you know who it is?" He nodded slowly, and the secrets in his eyes seemed to flicker to life. "The artist departed years ago under unusual circumstances." He spoke, his words laden with intrigue. "He left behind a trail, stories, sketches, an echo of his spirit." My pulse quickened at his revelation, each word igniting a spark of curiosity within me. The man continued, expressing that his connection to the village of Kanchipuram could provide further insights. His willingness to guide us opened a door I never knew existed, unleashing a wave of excitement that surged through my veins. The next day, I couldn't contain my eagerness. Accompanied by Arjun, we set off for Kanchipuram, a village that promised to be a tapestry of tradition and vibrant culture. As we arrived, my senses were assaulted by an explosion of colors, sounds, and aromas. Temples with intricate carvings rose majestically towards the sky, as if reaching for the heavens, their stones weathered yet proud. The locals welcomed us with broad smiles and steaming cups of chai, each offering a warm embrace that made us feel at home. I shared our story of the journal, the artist, and the gallery owner with whomever we met, hoping to uncover something more about the elusive figure behind the sketches. With every conversation, I felt as if pieces of a larger puzzle were beginning to fall into place, revealing a narrative as rich and intricate as the tapestries surrounding us. But the pivotal moment arrived during a chance encounter with a young woman named Priya. She appeared as a breath of fresh air amidst the ornate backdrop of heritage. Her long, dark hair flowed like a cascading river, and her eyes sparkled with intelligence and kindness. After hearing our tale, considerately leaning in towards us, she broke into a smile. "You're looking for that artist?" I knew him well. My late uncle was his mentor. Her words struck me like lightning. I could hardly believe my ears. "Really? You have to tell me everything," I urged, my heart pounding with newfound urgency. Priya recounted stories of her uncle's profound influence on the artist, illuminating connections that had previously been shrouded in mystery. She spoke of lively discussions they engaged in, debates that stretched into the late hours, and shared dreams of unfinished paintings. Listening to her, I could almost hear laughter echoing through time and feel the warmth of shared experiences. It was as if the artist's spirit was beckoning me to connect the dots, to explore what had been left behind. As we spent the day with Priya, it became clear that there was more to this journey than just uncovering a talent long forgotten. As she shared with us tales of the village, the culture, and the artist's vision, what once felt like mere sketches began to come alive as vivid memories, filled with color and texture. The air crackled with possibilities, and I realized my journey was more than just a quest for knowledge. It was an adventure in reconnecting the past with the present. We wandered through Kanchipuram, exploring every nook and cranny, each step echoing with history. It was a place where faith intertwined with artistry, reflecting life itself in a myriad of ways. We visited markets bustling with life, tasted local delicacies, each morsel carrying with it traditions and flavors that spanned generations. I found art not just in the gallery's paintings, but flourishing all around us, woven into the very fabric of the village. Days turned into nights, and as each sunset cast long shadows among the temples, I began to understand what it truly meant to be connected, to art, to culture, and to each other. It was in witnessing the passion and resilience of the villagers that I discovered not just the artist's legacy, but my own desire to create and connect through the gift of storytelling. With Priya's guidance, I could feel my journey transforming. What began as a desire for answers now blossomed into an exploration of creativity, a celebration of life's intricacies. The threads connecting the past to the present became stronger, lighting a path forward, and the urgency of my quest became interwoven with the everyday rhythms of the village. I returned to the gallery in Kolkata with new stories, fresh perspectives, and a heart full of gratitude. In every canvas and every conversation, I found not only the echoes of the artist I had sought, but also reflections of my own aspirations. Kolkata, Chennai, Hyderabad. Each city held its unique spirit, a page in the greater narrative of my experiences in India. Yet it was Kanchipuram that awakened a deeper understanding of creativity, fostering connections that transcended time and space. And as my story unfolded, I realized that the journey was never truly about finding an artist. It was about discovering the art within us all. Her eyes sparkled with enthusiasm as she recounted stories of his unyielding passion for art and how he struggled to find his place in the world until he vanished, leaving behind echoes of his brilliance that still resonated through the streets of Chennai. "You're not just chasing stories. You're participating in their legacy," she said, her voice carrying a mix of reverence and excitement as we sat on the steps of a temple bathed in the warm glow of a setting sun, the sky painted in hues of orange and purple, a canvas of its own. Her words resonated deeply within me, shattering the boundaries of my quest. I wasn't merely searching for the artist. I was becoming part of a narrative that transcended time, a living tapestry woven with threads of countless lives intertwined with his. As I gazed at the intricate carvings on the temple walls, I felt a sense of connection with the countless souls who had come before me, each with their own story, their own battles and triumphs, all converging on this very spot. The smell of incense mixed with the soft rustle of leaves in the gentle breeze created a symphony that seemed to encourage me to dig deeper, into this enigmatic legacy. My time in Chennai wound down like the sun disappearing behind the horizon, leaving behind a canvas of glowing memories. I realized that I would carry the essence of this journey with me, intricately woven into my own experiences. I had come seeking thrills, expecting to be dazzled by the sights and sounds of this vibrant city, but what I found was something far more profound: connections to humanity that transcended mere sightseeing. They were human stories wrapped in warmth, stitched together to create a rich tapestry of emotions that reached out to embrace me. Arriving in Hyderabad was like stepping into another world altogether. The dynamic contrast took my breath away, as if the very air was charged with energy. Modernity greeted me with gleaming skyscrapers rising majestically against the sky. Yet, amongst these modern monuments of success, remnants of tradition were ever present. Colorful bazaars buzzing with life and historical fortresses standing guard over the passage of time. The air was thick with the buzzing of conversations in a multitude of languages, each voice a part of the vibrant mosaic that painted the city. As I explored the grandeur of the Charminar, I felt the brick and mortar pulse with history, each stone imbued with stories just waiting to be shared. The streets around it were alive with energy, each corner bursting with new sights and sensations, each market stall a treasure trove of colors and textures that tugged at my senses. The aroma of fresh biryani floated through the air, sweet and spicy, wrapping around me like a warm embrace. It was in this lively atmosphere where I found myself lost in thoughts. My search for the elusive artist's influence kept me glued to the streets, my heart racing with anticipation. Questions swirled in my mind like leaves caught in a breeze. Was there a deeper connection between the artist and the people I met in each bustling market or serene temple? I sensed the city was alive, its every corner whispering tales waiting to be uncovered. One evening, as I meandered through the chaotic embrace of the Lad Bazaar, the kaleidoscope of unique jewelry and vibrant bangles tried to distract me from my mission. The clinking of bangles and laughter of shopkeepers filled the air, each sound vying for my attention. But it was none other than a quaint little cafe that drew my focus, a hidden oasis amid the whirlwind of commercial vibrancy. Inside, an old man sat quietly painting at a rickety wooden table, his brush dancing across the canvas with a grace that belied his age. The soft glow of the afternoon sun illuminated his weathered face, etched with stories of his own. Captivated, I moved closer. "What do you see?" I asked, genuinely intrigued. He looked up, his paintbrush pausing mid-stroke as his eyes met mine. "I see the world as it is, full of chaos and beauty, each stroke a reflection of both." His voice was soft but firm, carrying the weight of years filled with passion and struggle. "Art, my friend, is merely a mirror. It reflects everything we experience, the good and the bad." I took a seat across from him, the simple wooden chair creaking beneath me. "Do you know of an artist who has left his mark on this city?" I asked, trying to mask the eagerness in my voice with casual curiosity. A knowing smile flickered across his lips, as though he had been expecting my question. "Ah, many have left their marks. But the one you seek, his spirit is ingrained in the very fabric of these streets." He gestured towards the bustling bazaar outside, a world teeming with life. "His influence flows through the people, like this river that nourishes the land. Sometimes you must look beyond the canvas to find the true artistry of a life well lived." His words ignited a spark of determination in me. The journal still nestled in my backpack felt like a piece of a puzzle ready to reveal its secrets, prompting new questions that demanded answers. I began to realize that my search was never just about one artist, but rather about understanding the essence of life itself. As days turned into weeks, my journey through Hyderabad became an odyssey of rediscovery. Each day, I met individuals who carried the flame of creativity in their hearts, all interconnected in ways I hadn't imagined. Artists, musicians, and storytellers filled my days and nights with laughter and wisdom, each encounter a colorful thread in my ever-expanding tapestry of experience. In the evenings, I found myself wandering through the vibrant streets, breathing in the rich aromas of street food, the sizzling of samosas, and the sweet notes of jalebi. The laughter of children echoed around me, their joy infectious as they played games amidst the chaotic dance of everyday life. I felt alive, as if in this city, I had been part of something larger than myself, a story being written in real time. I started to document my experiences with fervor, a patchwork of sketches and notes captured on the pages of my journal. Each word felt like a brushstroke of its own, capturing the essence of a place that refused to be defined by a single narrative. In every corner of Hyderabad, I discovered a story waiting to be told, the artist's presence pulsing beneath the surface of the everyday. As my time in the city drew to a close, I stood on the rooftop of my hotel one final evening, the sun dipping below the horizon, painting the skies with strokes of fiery red and calming blues. I took a deep breath, the warm air wrapping around me, feeling as if I was absorbing the last moments of this incredible journey. I understood that I was no longer just a visitor, but a part of the story woven through these vibrant streets, each experience a thread binding my own destiny to those of the people I encountered. With a heart full of gratitude and a spirit ignited by the beauty of connection, I turned to leave the rooftop. As the stars began to flicker into existence, I smiled, ready to chase the echoes of my own story, forever enriched by the narratives I had woven through the colors of Chennai and Hyderabad. After my enchanting journey through Kolkata, where the vibrant streets sang with the sounds of laughter, conversation, and the rhythm of chawallas, tea sellers, pouring fragrant cups of their finest brew, I felt an undeniable pull to explore further. Chennai beckoned me next, its shores kissed by the warm embrace of the Bay of Bengal. I arrived with an open heart, ready to immerse myself in the sensory tapestry of this coastal city. As I stepped out into the sultry air of Chennai, the aromas of fresh dosa and coconut chutney filled my senses. The sizzle of street vendors preparing their culinary fare was a siren call that led me to the bustling streets, where people swarmed like colorful butterflies. Children played cricket in narrow lanes, their laughter ringing like melodious chimes that danced on the breeze. At a nearby stall, an elderly woman with an infectious smile handed me a crispy dosa. "You must try it hot, my dear. It's made with love," she said, her eyes twinkling with warmth. I took a bite, and the flavors burst in my mouth, an explosion of spices creating a symphony of taste. It was on Marina Beach that I found a moment of serenity amidst the vibrant chaos of city life. As the sun began its descent, painting the sky in hues of gold and pink, I walked along the shoreline, feeling the cool water lap at my feet. Families gathered around, children building sandcastles while couples strolled hand in hand, lost in their own world. In that moment, I let the worries of daily life wash away with the waves, a cleansing of spirit that left me invigorated and ready for the adventures ahead. Chennai was a city steeped in a rich cultural tapestry, and I found myself wandering into age-old temples, each one telling stories of devotion carved into stone. I marveled at the intricately painted gopurams, temple towers, that soared high above me, as if reaching to touch the heavens. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of incense, and the soft chanting of prayers resonated off the walls, wrapping around me like a comforting blanket. It was in these sacred spaces that I felt a deep connection to the past, to the countless souls who had come before me seeking solace, understanding, and meaning. From Chennai, my journey led me to Hyderabad, a city that pulsates with life and contrasts, where history meets modernity. I was drawn to its regal palaces and lively bazaars, where every corner held a story waiting to be discovered. At the Grand Charminar, I found myself mesmerized by the intricate architecture, each arch telling tales of an era long gone. The bustling market surrounding me was a treasure trove. Vendors hawked spices, jewelry, and colorful bangles, their voices rising above the cacophony of life. In a small eatery tucked away from the main road, I encountered a delightful local chef who took immense pride in his signature biryani. "You haven't lived until you've tasted this dish," he declared, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. I took a bite of the rich, aromatic rice and tender meat, and I could taste the passion behind every morsel. "Food is not just sustenance, it's an experience," he shared, as we exchanged stories of our lives. In moments like these, the language of connection transcended words. Every shared laugh and bite bridged the gap between our worlds. As my time in Hyderabad came to a close, I found myself reflecting on my journey as a whole. I had sought the stories of an artist, but in doing so, I had uncovered so much more. The rich tapestry of human experience had woven itself into my own life. The laughter of children, the wisdom of elders, the warmth of connection brought together by shared moments. Each place, each person, had added another thread to the fabric of my existence. As I bid farewell to Hyderabad, I carried with me not just memories, but the essence of my travels, the vibrant stories that would surely linger long after I had left. With every step I took, I felt a newfound clarity settle within me. I was not merely a traveler, but a collector of experiences, a weaver of narratives that spanned across cultures, connecting me to a world much larger than myself. At the airport, as I prepared to leave, I encountered a fellow traveler, her eyes shining with the same excitement I had felt at the beginning of my journey. "Do you think you'll find what you're searching for?" she asked, her voice tinged with curiosity. I smiled, recalling the artist whose journey had inspired me. I've realized it's not about finding a singular answer, I replied. It's about the connections we make along the way, the stories we share, and the lives we touch. Her expression changed to one of understanding, and we exchanged tales of our separate adventures as if we had known each other for ages. Each story added another layer to the vibrant tapestry of life. As I walked through the terminal, my heart swelled with gratitude. My travels had imparted lessons far richer than gold. They were reminders that life, complex and chaotic, was indeed a beautiful adventure. It wasn't merely about the destinations I reached, but the constellations of experiences, emotions, and relationships I had formed, each an essential landmark on the map of my life, guiding me toward new horizons yet to be discovered. Thanks for joining the adventure. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing travels. What was your favorite part? Let me know in the comments. Where are we heading next? Stay tuned, and see you in the next adventure.